Oftentimes, sometimes, people say to me, but I don't have any joy. I can't find any joy. Sometimes they even get upset with me clinically when I keep asking about it. But the reason I keep asking about it is because I know it's there. Like, I know you have joy. I know that it has happened. I know that there are joyous moments in your life. You just have to find them. And the reason I know that is because there is no such thing as perfection. That means I can't have the perfect life, and it means on the opposite end of the spectrum, I can't have the perfectly imperfect life either. I'm going to have some good and some bad no matter what is going on, and my job is to find the good. And I'll be honest with you, like I used to be one of those people that thought joy was not for me. I used to be one of those people that thought, I'm just not fit for this. Like, I'm not going to experience joy. And I had to learn that, two things. Joy is my responsibility. It's not the consequence of coincidence. It's not the consequence of randomness or even circumstance. It's my responsibility to find joy. It's my responsibility to have a life where joy is happening and where joy is possible. And the first way you do that is to look for it. I'm going to talk about that today. And I'm going to talk about how I found it. So welcome back to the aha moments, where every day I share the lessons I've learned in my work as a psychotherapist and in my life to inspire you to live your very best life. Of course, I'm your host, Elliott Connie. The first way I found joy in my life, which impacts me to this very day. I am a night owl, and I mean like a super night owl. It look like literally right now, like if I told you the time I'm recording this podcast and that I haven't slept, you would be shocked. And I'll tell you how that connects to me finding joy. Living in my home, there was so much fear and anxiety when I was a kid. So much fear. Like from the moment my dad walked in the door, you just knew an explosion could happen at any time. And it was just really nerve-wracking and really scary and really challenging for me and my two brothers and my mom, everybody but my dad. And somehow I accidentally discovered that the home is quiet when everyone goes to sleep. So I would come home, so I'd go to school, and then I usually had practice after school, either baseball, football, or basketball, whatever sport I was playing at the time. And then I would come home and practice, I would eat, and I would go to sleep. And I would wake up in the middle of the night, and then that was like my time. And I would sneak downstairs, and I would watch a movie. And I used to watch the same movie over and over and over again, or same movies. I would watch like Star Wars. I would watch comedy specials that we had on VHS tape. Those of you old enough to remember VHS tapes. But it was like my moment. It was a silly little thing, but it was literally like my moment. And it impacted me. And so if I was going through my day and having a difficult day, I remember thinking, well, I look forward to tonight where I can be myself. I look forward to tonight where I can just sit and watch, the VHS tape that I picked to watch that day. Back in those days, you could record stuff. Now everything's obviously all super duper digital and streaming and all the rest of it. But back then, if there was a movie coming on, you could take your VCR, you could put in a blank VHS tape, hit record, and you can record whatever was going on television. So we didn't have the money to like go and buy a bunch of VHS tapes, a bunch of movies, but I would, if a movie was coming on, I'd record it. And I just had this collection of movies. Spaceballs, I remember being one of them. Star Wars, as I mentioned. And the small bits of joy I had from knowing like the nighttime was my time, and I could find those moments and create those moments. And literally having something to look forward to is one of the biggest impacts of having joy in your life and developing the habit of looking for joy. So I would go through the day, and it might be a hard day, but I would always think, well, I look forward to tonight. And I would go through my routine. I'd go to school, go to practice, come home, get something to eat, go to sleep, and then wake up in the middle of the night. And I'd spend a couple of hours, go back to bed, and then go to school and do it all over again. But that's the power of joy. And if there's one thing I want you guys to take away, is like, stop looking for joy in big moments. Stop looking for joy in material and money, status and fame. Look for joy in these little tiny moments, because that's where life matters. Thanks for being here. If you wouldn't mind doing me a super huge favor, I would love it if you would share this podcast with at least one person in your life that you think could benefit from hearing this message today. And also, don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you listen to your podcast. And also follow me on all of the social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky. You can search for my name, Elliott Connie, or at Elliott Speaks. That's my handle across all platforms. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.